Okay, awesome. So thank you guys for joining today. Obviously we pivot, right? We pivot in our business. It wouldn't let me stream. I don't panic. There's always workarounds to everything. There's always an answer to every solution, and the struggles that we go through, and everybody's always like, oh my God, we can't figure this out, but simple fix. So anyway, I've got a wonderful lady out of Vegas. Her name is ERIN Mills, and she's a rock star. She's been with me for 18 months and just basically, in a sense, half-assed it for most of the time. And then, she got it there, and then now she decided to buckle down. We've had a conversation. We've got her stuff. She's got a really cool background and, what she used to do prior to all that kind of, being in real estate. Now, keep in mind for you guys, she's only been a realtor for a year and a half. So this is, it's new to her. So those that have been in here longer doing, that have done more business and things like that. She's only been doing it a year and a half. She started in March of last year, and now she just kind of really just elevated her business. I messaged her the other day and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? She goes, I'm literally doing now everything you tell me to do, but I'm having fun. So I want to introduce ERIN to you guys. ERIN, just tell us a little bit about your background, what you did prior to real estate, why you decided to get into real estate, and we'll just kind of go from there.
Okay, that's a fun story. So, living here in Las Vegas my entire life, we own a wedding venue, a giant wedding venue. And so I've run it with my family, and I was a wedding DJ for 11 years. So I'm not afraid of public speaking or the microphone or anything. And I've always done sales. The sad story is my grandparents had 14 rentals, and they said, go get your real estate license. It'll be fun. To date, I have never sold one of their rentals, and they're down to 2. That's okay, feelings aside, but I caught the bug, and I'm very good at this, and I love people anyway, so that's how I got into it. I was with a bad brokerage for 1 year. It was kind of like a boys club, nothing wrong with boys, but I didn't learn anything. I learned about fantasy football and how much they hated their spouses, and so I bounced. And so I joined Aaron Taylor's EXP team here last March, and that's where I said I was born. So I've been in it for a little bit, but not really since then.
Okay. And
then I think I met John's story like week 1. Aaron Taylor brought you in, and I was like, hook, line, and sinker. I love this guy. He says, fuck, yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, I think in real reality, if you just kind of build it out and do your own stuff, and I mean, you're an individual agent, you do your stuff, you build out through teams of whatever you're trying to do. But what I really love is you owned your shit, basically, in a sense, right? Where I think a lot of us, especially people who are on the call, people that are going to watch this video down, years from now, what was the defining moment that you're like, okay, like I got to take this seriously, or what am I doing? Like what was the epiphany that you could share with people that probably have the same thing of like, what's going to turn it on for me to make it a difference for me every day?
Well, and I told John, my biggest wall, I've always been a workaholic, and he keeps going, the number 1, January 1st, 2020, list who you are, what you do. And I just said, work. Yeah, I'm a mom and everything, but I didn't have anything for myself. So it was hard for me to find a hobby. And it's actually Baby Goat Yoga, which is now my biggest client to date. But as I'm posting, actually letting go and having fun, getting on the boat and having fun, posting about my dogs and my family, people are enjoying me more. We're connecting more. And that's why I was like, John, all right. And so I started charting and having the conversations and liking and messaging, and it's just come out of the woodwork. And so the charting is a real thing. And I didn't know how to Excel. I love you. And so I had to learn that. But I did a lot on paper, tons and tons on paper, and that's fine too.
Yeah.
So, but I think what you asked me is when it hit, and it was COVID. It was sink or swim.
Right. I mean, you kind of had to make business go or not go. And I think a lot of times, how I've kind of built my company to where it is now before where I'm going to take it somewhere else is I wanted a really good core group of people that would be there for one another, help each other, share their successes, share their failures, just like where you referenced, you watched the Trevor interview and that hit home really well. And then now you want to share it with everybody else, the people that have struggles. And a lot of people tell me that, look, it's hard charting. And it's a pattern and it's a habit. And so my biggest thing that I would tell anybody that's listening, I said, the best way to start a habit is to wake up at the same time every day. Stop saying that you wake up between 6:30 and 7 or 7 and 8, whatever the hell it is.
Set your alarm for everything.
Right. But just wake up, because then you're going to create a habit to start your day the way that it needs to be started, versus you're like, okay, I'm kind of getting my day. Now let's talk about your routine, because you're charting the stuff that you're doing. When you wake up in the morning, what are some of the first couple things that you do to start maybe generating conversations, things you do for yourself? I think a lot of people want to know more about routine, and then
Yeah.
systems we talk about down the road in this interview.
Well, so over the weekend we got a new puppy, and so I actually been waking up at 4:30 every morning, and I moved it to 4 now, and so I built in that time. And so the first thing I do when I wake up is I actually make my post, and I've got tons of content, and I make sure the night before I know exactly what I'm going to be doing. And I tell everybody, if your stories die, you're dead. If you don't post, you're dead. You're not alive. And so that's literally the first thing I do is post, and then I refresh it a lot if nobody's commenting during the day. I've got my alarm set. So I get up, we chug a bunch of water and have a coffee, and I put John's story in my ear and I walk the dogs. So I post, drink my water, and I put John's story in my ear. So I've been through the training portal, but I start at the beginning and go over it and over it. Because how many times are you supposed to listen to it?
7 times before you actually start getting something. And then it goes, I mean, some people are 8, some people are 10, but they say a minimum of 7 watching the video. 7, like go through it, start to finish 1, start to finish 2, start to finish 3. And then what happens is, this is what I found, and I'm sure you have, is that by going through it again, you thought you had it mastered. Then you're like, oh crap, I forgot this, 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 and this.
I missed that. Write it down.
And it's funny, we had a conversation prior to going on where I had an agent that literally, it's his first year, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm doing great. I think I've mastered everything that I need to do. And he started laughing. And, I think we can always learn. So one of the techniques that you do every morning is you get training. And I always say, train your brain.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. It's just learning things new every day. Now, do you have it charted out on what you want to watch all the time? Do you have it charted out, or are you just like, look, where I left off, I'm going to start there and keep going from like A to Z? Or do you bounce around? What works best for you, and what would you recommend for people?
I've gone all the way through, but I keep repeating Facebook over and over.
Okay.
So I keep doing the training portals. So I really, really want to master it. I kind of have my nuggets over here on Instagram. I don't want to get lost. I'm staying the path, focusing on one thing. And so I haven't even, I do my Instagram, but I haven't really focused on LinkedIn. I don't want to get distracted. And so I'm just building Facebook very, very strong right now, and leaking a little bit into that, and just starting, putting all my videos on YouTube. So it's still baby steps for me, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Now let's talk about that, because now that you've been charting your stuff and your business has just exploded.
Yes.
And I think it's great that you're charting, but for me personally, I think it's because you've got a hobby now and you're doing things and you're more active. And I think once you realize that you can enjoy life and still have a work life too, because I've known you for a long time, and you're always work. And I'm like, you got to have balance in something, right? And now that you've had the balance, and I think so many people, the best advice I can give you is work's always going to be there. Okay. But as we age with our kids, we get 18 summers with our kids. You guys know my kids are my everything. That's why I built what I've done to be remote wherever I'm at. I mean, I could be on a beach right now. We could be doing the interview. And it doesn't really matter. It's the full fashion of, now I think you're enjoying charting your business, because the posts that you're putting out are actual meaningful conversations that you're sharing with people.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yes. And so mine is, it's like 80% personal and only 20% business, because it's part of my life. And people love seeing when I'm touring homes, and they love to see that, but it's gotta be, people know everything about me, and they love that. And the natural conversations are now, oh, tell me about your dog. Tell me about your baby goat yoga. What is that? Where do you like to go on the lake? And so those are the meaningful conversations that now they're like, that's right, you do real estate. I've got all these friends, and it's just like exploding.
Right. And so now you're generating from friends of friends. Now, your first year in March, when you did, basically first year when you joined, you did 2.2. Now you're already at, I mean, with the numbers you gave me, you'd be close to almost 7 million over the last basically few months.
Yes. And not even counting the pipeline. And so what I have going right now, it would be 9.6 if I closed everything in my pipeline right now and didn't do another thing for the year.
So literally it's crazy how you develop from only a couple deals at the beginning of the year.
Right.
Created a hobby, started charting, like I've always told people, that you got to know what your measurable results, because now you're collecting what I like to call data.
Yes.
but it's also meaningful data about things that you're doing in your business. You're having fun doing it. You're vulnerable. I thank you again for doing this interview. I think a lot of people are going to benefit from this, and your business just is now taken off. And you were doing the habits before. You were doing real estate. I saw you posting, but you didn't have the hobbies habits. So what made you decide, like, what was the determining factor? Did you like write it all out on your whiteboard? Did you write it on a piece of paper? You were like, shit, man, like I got to find something to do. And
It's been there. It's been there since January 1, when you're
okay.
like 2020, this is the interview. I watch it over and over. And the number one thing is find yourself. Who are you? What do you like to do? What are your hobbies? And I'm always like, John, shut up. I work. That's who I am. And I was like, there's something fucking to this, especially through COVID. It's like we were gardening and, just, I got the reactions, and playing with the dogs and I got the reactions. So I started not doing photos. I started doing a lot more talking to people on the camera, doing it everywhere. And so I'll occasionally do photos, but I'll do a lot of talking. So I tell my team and everything, you have to be a media whore. Just always be on camera, because people like to see you all through during the day. I meet people I barely know, and they're like, they know everything about me. They're like, I watch your stories all the time. It made me happy through COVID. You're very, joyful, and I love that energy. So you have to be happy.
Let's stop right there, because I've preached stories for so long that it is the number one sales funnel where you can make money. And a lot of people haven't adapted to it yet. And I see a lot of realtors, all I do is post photos of homes and they never ask conversations. I see you, like your phone is this, and you are legit in the camera talking to them all the time. Where I say, start the day with telling people, have a blessed day, have a great time, have fun with your people, be vulnerable. And you've taken that. So you guys that are scared, here's the thing that I'm going to tell you. The worst thing you're going to lose are deals. And you're losing them. So if you follow ERIN, she went from really not doing that to now talking, showing her hobbies, habits, things that she's doing. And if she closed out the rest of the year, which she's going to have more leads because we got lots of months left, she has almost $10 million. So $300,000 worth of business, okay? And all she's doing is just doing the practical things. Repetition of charting her business, doing the stories, the social media, being vulnerable, bringing value to her clients. And I think a lot of times, value is obviously education and the experience.
Yes.
I think value is also that they know who you are prior to ever meeting you.
Yeah, they're already comfortable with me. They know I'm a good person and a family person. And another thing I've been amping up is the call to action. I'm posting the polls, I'm posting the questions. So when people start that conversation, I'm keeping up with those conversations. And ultimately, I call people now instead of just driving and listening to music. We're in the car all day long. And I've started to call. I think I'm on K now. Hey, how's it going? What's going on? And they're like, you're not going to ask me about real estate? And I'm like, nah. How are you? But they'll eventually, or they'll be like, oh, how's real estate? It's amazing. That's an organic conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I think people have lost the point of that. I mean, I have a client that, over the last couple of weeks, he's gone through his list. He's been a realtor for a long time, get people in his CRM. So you guys that have people in email drip system campaigns, you're losing business all day long.
Don't do it.
I got 6 new deals from this over the last 2 weeks, going through just a sphere of influence. People that have bought and sold with him, and they didn't remember that he was a realtor. They didn't know how to get a hold of him. And you're out of sight, you're out of mind, and it's consistency, repetition. Now, here's where the truth bomb comes. I know that you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. And I know you're always positive, and I see your stories and I see that. Now, people are going to say, well, okay, that's great. She's giving us all the fluff. Now, when you're having a rough day, how do you turn that around to make it a positive, to share with people? Like, maybe you tell them like, hey man, I'm having a rough day from this, but this is what made me better. I think everybody always has rough days and shitty days when you go through kind of stuff, and what do you do? Do you chart it? Do you write it down? Do you create a story to share with people? Like, what's the functionality where people, especially what we're going through right now, but people are always going, what do you do to make your day change for a positive?
Well, I just had a very, very difficult client, and everybody says that, but it was very extreme. And I've read a lot about personalities and everything like that. And so all I was doing is just being positive at the negative. And it's nothing that I really wanted to share because it was very, negative about the client. But I do recall there was one in COVID, and I sent out a video text to everybody that I knew. And I said, we're having a rough time. We don't have any weddings, which used to be the bread and butter. If you need any knowledge, please support our family. We're here to support you at any time. And so that was a raw moment, and it was a little teary because how were we going to make our gigantic mortgage us ourselves? Because I didn't have the deals. I didn't have those deals ready through COVID, which is why I was like, I need John. I need John's story, and I've got to do the work.
Well, I thank you for saying that you needed me.
Oh man, I know his head's just getting bigger and bigger.
No, I think that people in our industry have lost the focal point that we're all in this together. And that if I could say anything, it would be ego, right? I've been told, dude, that guy's egotistical. I'm not egotistical. Ego means you're scared of things, you assume things, and you let your fear run your life. No, I'm fucking confident, just like how you are now. Okay, it's not egotistical, it's confidence. Why?
Yeah.
You have collective data to back up the results of repetition that you're doing. So if I say, when you want to go to the next level, so if I was telling you, Erin, hey, Erin, if we're going to do 10 million, I know what's going to get you to 15. Do you know what's going to get you to 15 though?
Listening to you.
So I'm going to give you guys some great advice. So Erin, what I would tell you is I'd say, and we'll talk about that, the 3 things that are doing best for you to lead gen right now, master those and master them again, and create systems of efficiency so that they're basically on autopilot, and that'll double or triple your business all day long.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
So what happens is definition of insanity is doing something over and over. So what 3 things have you done that are generating your business that you could share with people, and maybe they could take one of it?
So it's in the portal, but how you've told us to make those videos and put them on YouTube and shorten it. And so it's like, okay, you've got an offer accepted and now the inspection. And so I have about 8 of them filmed and over Bitly on my phone. So I don't have to repeat myself. It's saving a lot of time building up this client base. And so I'll send them those videos. They're very excited. And so answering the questions before they ask. And so that's what I'm trying to master. So I'm not going out of my lane. I'm just focusing on how can I make every transaction, writing the questions, making a video, writing the questions, making that video. That will streamline your business when you start to get so busy. Do I get an assistant or do I make a video?
Well, it's crazy because now you're closing all these deals. You've got 28 deals in the pipeline. But here's the cool thing, guys. If you're really listening to what she's saying, she's taking the time. She's got the video content that her clients 100% want. So she knows the top 8 videos, and she might add 12, 13, 14, 15. Who knows, depending as her business grows. But now she can simplify it to where if she's out on a boat, or she's got, going to yoga, or she's hanging out with the dog, and somebody's got a question, she's got the answer for them right away.
Shoot the video.
Right. And I think a lot of times what happens is, and that's why I built my program the way it is that I can say it to you right now, but in a week from now, you're going to remember everything that I just said. No, most likely you're not. So now you have a reference point to be able to do that. So you've got the video stuff. Now, how do you think you're getting these clients or these relationships that you're building? Because I know you personally. I know you're all about relationships. I know your background. I think a lot of people as realtors look at clients as just a transaction. How do you nurture your relationships? How are you lead genning off the people that you're knowing? Because your business literally just, it's blown up. Okay.
Well, and as outgoing as I am, and this was last week I heard in the portal, and you said you have to ask people when you close, give me 3 names that, that I can call. And that was hard for me, very, very hard. And so I went back, checked up on everybody that I've just done. A year and a half, I don't have a huge amount. Hey, how's everything? Is there 3 people that you can give me that you think I could help? And so that was a big thing. And so I got about 10 just in the last week going back. That's major, major. Don't, transaction by Felicia. Don't do that. Keep them going. Put them in your phone. I don't have one right now, but I onboard, okay. If we even want to talk about that, I have a client info form that I send to them. Hey, I want to get to know you. What's this for? I said, so I can give you the best gift ever on your anniversaries, on your birthdays, and I want your referral. That's the first thing you say. Don't be afraid. I was. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are scared of rejection, and it's better to be kind of out of sight, out of mind. And those that don't have the deals, guys, I want you to really focus, okay? She's really only a year and a half in, and this is, you would say, her second year. So in her second year, she's going to close 10 million. But prior to June, she had only closed 2 transactions for 580,000. So you think the rest of the year, she's going to close 9.5 million the last 6 months. So if you guys say there's no business or you don't have business, she's in an environment where she's telling you guys, do the shit that I tell you to do, and it makes life really easy, and you can have fun doing it. Now, that's a great test. 9.5 million in the last part of the year is phenomenal.
If I stopped working right now.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about this. So the first conversations, you're going through your list and you say, I'm going to ask for these 3 people, and you've got the anxiety because everybody's going to have the anxiety.
Yeah.
But I would say, look, the worst thing somebody's going to tell you is no. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're back to square one, but you do it again, But now you've gotten like 10 people that are doing it. Do you think maybe there's a better way to start it at the beginning of your process? Asking for the deals versus now the later part? Like,
100%.
What would you do if you were to tell realtors, like, now that you've seen the success, your first initial meeting or maybe your second, whatever, what would you implement today to make it better for you?
Okay, I'm not scared anymore. And so however you're doing it, if you're staying socially distant or they're in front of you, I think it's very important. Before we start talking about, you never say, are you pre-approved? None of that. Listen to John. So I sit down and I give him this form, whether I email or give it to him, and I go through it. And I was like, I want to know all about you. I'm going to do the best job for you on the planet. And I want you to be so comfortable. I want you to think of 3 people now, but maybe more through our whole transaction. So you're giving me those leads as I'm doing a great job for you. As I impress you, I would like, you to give me those leads because I want everybody to have this experience that you're having with me. So I'm not afraid now.
Do you guys, if you're listening to what she's saying, she onboards her clients right away. And I have a couple clients that I personally coach that are on this, and they're trying to have their poker face. One of them just started smiling because I tell her that all the fucking time. Dude, if you do not know your clients from day one, they will never refer you business. And she kills it. So can you imagine if you lay out, so this is why I say, guys, create checklists. Erin hit the nail on the head. Lay out clear expectations from day one that this isn't about the real estate transaction. It's about getting to know you as a client and how can I help your friends and give them the same experience. And okay, so you've asked some of these people right away now, and what are their responses?
Well, my favorite client right now, she's a nurse. Okay. And I'm like, listen, I know you work, 16-hour days, lean on me. It's your first time. And I said, I'm here for you guys. And so she's given me 3 coworkers that she's worked with just in the last week, because she can be on the phone with me at any time. I'm responding right away. I send her gifts. I mean, you have to have fun with your clients, not just about business. No, she loves dogs. I send her a picture of my dogs all the time. She's like, this is the best girl. So now I've got 3 of her coworkers lined up to have meetings this weekend. And it was just about, because I've asked her constantly, can I help anybody else? So, and I mean, we haven't talked about onboarding because through COVID, when I started, you can't do client appreciation. You can't do this crap. So if I can give you just something a little fun, I'll give you my secret. So I'm getting on Amazon and I'm sending clients these 3 things. And so you can get those big ketchup, relish, mustard, the barbecue packs. So I'm sending them to their houses with a note that says, after this COVID, I'd like to catch up. I relish our friendship because, I can cut the mustard. It's just funny. And it cost me like $7 and I ship it to their house. So it's super fun.
That's
so cute.
It's the icebreaker of what it is. Now, okay, here's what I'm going to ask you. If I ask you from a coaching perspective, and if we were doing a coaching call right now, because some of my people know what I'm doing. Okay, so do you have a column separate for all your clients that you've onboarded with the checklist, and that you followed up and you send an Amazon gift, or what type of gift to send them? And then let's just say you've got this nurse now, and she sent you 3 deals.
Yes.
What are you going to send her now? Because obviously, social distancing, but I think we've really learned that we can be virtual now as people, like what we're doing right now. We're doing a webinar and people are, tuning in. what makes you determine, like, when do you determine that you're going to send it? Do you send it like right away when she gives you the 3 people? Do you wait? Do you personalize the gift? Because you can go on Amazon and send them anything. Do you ask them like, hey, like, I want to send you something, like, is there something you need? What do you do?
Well, on my client information form, it literally has all their hobbies, where they like to eat, if they're allergic to anything, their favorite beverages. And so I can just send her, I haven't sent her anything. This happened so quickly. And so I would like to send her stuff from Chewy because she loves her dogs. And so I have everything that they like and they love. And so I can, you know, because she's a nurse, so we're distancing. So I can send her some e-cards. They love the Outback. And so I can say, hey, thank you for sending me that referral from Liza. I wanted to send you something as a thank you. You guys go to dinner when you can and enjoy yourselves.
I had a great question. Somebody asked if you'd be willing to share that sheet. Did you basically take the same onboarding sheet that I have and just make it, you know?
I think so. And it's super simple. The only thing that I want to put on there is, what is your Facebook and Instagram names? Because people don't always have their name. So I have a client, I would never be able to find her. And so that's the only thing I would add is, how do I find you? What's your handle on Instagram and your name on Facebook? And so, but when I've got clients that it's just a little pipeline, because I'm not at my regular office with the Trevor board.
Right.
Thank you, Trevor. It says, you know, did I add them on Facebook? Did I add them to my VIP? Did they accept it on the VIP? Okay, the closed group.
Right.
And did I send them, and did they send me back their client information sheet? But yeah, I'll definitely post that. It's super simple, and it's just in a PDF format, and I email it to them or print it out and give it to them in the folder and say, give it back to me.
Yeah, you can just email it to me and I'll load it into the group under the file tab.
Yeah, it's so simple. And just, and that's my only suggestion, is adding how to find them.
Love that. I love that idea. And then you stay connected. So now look at this. You've got collective data. You know everything that your clients are doing. And those that say they don't have business or anything out there, I always say, look, everybody's buying and selling homes. You just got to make them do it from you. But you're lead genning from your people. I think this is the craziest thing that I've ever seen in real estate. And I know you're new, so you don't have as bad of habits. People are always out there trying to lead gen out people that don't even know.
Right.
And you literally have gone back to the people that you do know, and you're just going, hey, do you know 3 people that I could talk to?
And it's very important that when I do a post that I'm having the call to action, if I get 10 comments or 52 comments, I will go to them, stalk their friends, find their top 5, start to friend them, chart when they accept. I mean, it's a big deal, but that's why I'm getting up at 4 a.m. I go to bed at 8:30. I'm old, and I get up and I take that time. Like I said, I do my water. I put John in here. I take the dogs for a walk, and I will come in here for 2 hours and just stalk people in a nice way.
But you guys, if you listen to where it is, so here's a breakdown of, you know, Erin. Number 1, she's got a hobby, habit, interest, what she's doing, right?
Finally.
She's charting her stuff. She's training her brain every day. She's doing all the procedures of asking for the business. Her call to actions are different. But if you notice, she's having a lot of fun doing it.
I am.
And the way that she's building her relationships are everything that I've ever preached. Build off your people, learn how to ask for things. Now, when you think about it, Erin, think about when you first started and now what you've implemented.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science, is it?
Well, and I'm not like squirrel. Being so new, they're like, you know, listen to this and do this. Forget, stay in your lane. Perfect one thing. I'm not going to tell you I'm the LinkedIn queen. I'm not on there yet. But that's a whole nother thing once this is set in motion. And it's going to take a lot of time. I mean, this is not a year plan. Right.
And can you imagine where your business will be the next year and the year after once you just keep duplicating everything that you're doing and training? I mean, I think mostly with me coming from my perspective of coaching is that you listening to, you know, me every day or whatever, you're like, John's going to say this, John does it. I mean, I got clients that
he's going to get mad at me.
And they get on there, and then when I get on the call, they're like, oh, crap, I'm going to be in trouble or something's going to happen.
Yeah, this is John's story on my shoulder all day. What would John do? I don't know. What would John do? So I swear to God.
Yeah, it's just, you can build that out and you can have fun. If anybody's got any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat box right now. I'm going to have like one last question for you unless somebody else asks. People are going to go, Erin, what can I implement today that's going to change my mindset to create some consistency of wanting to do that, because it's a lot of work. You know,
Yeah.
I know it is. I do it for my business, but that's why I am where I am today is I practice what I preach. What could you tell them one thing today that can help them to move forward to be better tomorrow?
Just one?
Yeah. Or you could, whatever, just if you want to tell 2, 3, 4, I don't care.
Well, get back to the basics with John. When I have a new team member, somebody new, I said, listen, just start with the post. Start with your post every day, refresh it, set your alarms. I mean, yes, you have to be good with yourself. I mean, if you're not good for yourself, you have to fix yourself. But if we're talking business, do the post, start with a couple stories. Find somebody that you love and watch them. So again, if you want to follow me on Instagram, my full name is, it's ERIN Pearson Mills, Pierson. Follow me on Instagram. You can kind of see how I'm doing it. But it's just getting up, doing the post, and start A to Z. Go to your first person, like their top 5. Start a conversation, send just a message. And a great tip that I do when I'm getting ready, makeup, I always have my Facebook stories rolling, and I'll go hit the heart. Then you're at the very top. They see that you hearted it, okay? And then they're like, oh, what is she doing? What is she doing? And so just have that rolling all the time. During the meeting, I'll go hit a heart. Okay, so keep that, because Facebook rewards you for being social.
Now, great question. And I know you answered a little bit prior, but more specific. What kind of conversations are you having through your stories? Like, what are you saying to get things going? I know you talk. So you guys go follow her on Instagram. I know what she does, and it's similar to, you know, just tell them, like, how do you get a conversation going on through your stories?
It's the call to action. Okay. And so if people do heart, and so I'll go on my top people that are actively hearting and liking me, and I'll just send them a message. Hey, great to see you. How's it going? Literally so simple, but your call to actions. And so if you do your stories, and like this morning, me and my son were having eggs, and we have 2 hot sauces, and I put a question, Tapatio or La Victoria. People will start answering. The poll is a lot easier, the yes or no's, because then you can answer. People will do that faster than typing.
Right.
So yeah, it's the call to action. You have them, you know, force you. So all of my engagement posts on my Facebook, it will always be something funny, and I'll ask them a question to force them to answer. Like this week, I was like, what's your Starbucks drink? I got like 60 comments. And so I'm just commenting on every single one, going over, liking, seeing their top friends. That might sound like a lot.
You're collecting data through a really cool little trick that you're doing. It's just, here's the thing, guys. If you really take out of this, what I want you all to focus on, she dedicates time to do that. Okay. She doesn't just get on something. And it's like, oh shit, I'm going to do it right now. She dedicates
one thing.
She dedicates the 2 hours a day to stalk people, add people, comment back, build it out, and chart her data. Like some people I say, well, how long does it take? Okay. If you guys want to finish the year with $10 million worth of business that she just proved that you can do, if you just do these simple things, that's the recipe right there. But you have to start with daily habits. If you keep letting yourself out, and I think one of the biggest things is the people that you conversate with, who you hang out with, who you're, you know, doing things with, they're going to bring you down or bring you up. And, you know, I want to be the person in you guys' ear every day going, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and repetition of where you are, and, you know, have it on the shoulder of, let's get this shit going. You know, let's go have some fun. Guys, this story that she just said, I think we're all equal. I don't think anybody's better than anybody. I think we all have faults, and some things are better at some, and some are better at whatever. You've mastered the things that work for you because you've collected the data. That's what, if anybody can collect this out of anything. But the number one takeaway is she onboards every single one of her clients correctly now, and is self-generating leads from day one, not when it's at the closing table like most realtors.
Right. Correct.
And so that's one of the biggest takeaways that I do. So ERIN, thank you so much for doing this interview. I think a lot of people got some nuggets. I know people that I'm seeing on the video that are looking at me going, crap, I got to start doing what he's saying. I got to start with my clients. I can elevate my business. But it's just free money out there, low hanging fruit versus having to buy leads. But thank you. You're
anytime.
A rock star. When I come out to Vegas again, dinner's on me, happy hour's on me. I appreciate you doing this interview to help people. Guys, have a blessed day. Go have fun. Take what she said today and start working on it. And she's on vacation mode now a lot. She's enjoying her life. So thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thanks, ERIN.
Have a great
day.
You're
welcome.
You guys are awesome. Have a great one.